higher, growing deeper. And like I said, it's June, so we have a new theme, and our theme for the month of June is In Living Color. The title of our talk today is In Living Color, and it will be given by our wonderful Reverend Charlene. We are so glad that you took some time out of your day to join us. If you have any prayer concerns or celebrations that you would like us to include later in our service, just let us know in the chat. And when we get to that portion of our service, Charlene will be sure to include those in our affirmative prayer, which we call spiritual mind treatment. All right, that's all I have to say to get things started. Sit back, take a deep breath, you made it, and enjoy our welcoming video. Please join us as we create our sacred space. We set our intentions of deepening into our awareness and practice of our 5 pillars of spiritual living by lighting this candle in our virtual world. Our first pillar is sacred study, represented by the divine quality of truth. We use this pillar to recognize the importance of an open mind and the power of our minds. The second pillar is affirmative prayer, represented by the divine quality power. This pillar honors the power of prayer in our daily lives. Our third pillar is meditation and the divine quality of peace. This pillar reminds us of the importance of meditation and the peace we feel when we quiet our minds. The fourth pillar is circulation and the divine quality of life. We know that the great law of circulation works in our lives. As we give, so shall we receive. And the fifth pillar is sacred service and the divine quality of love. This pillar affirms our call to be of service to our world as we see through the eyes of love. Let us close our eyes as we bless this sacred space and our time together. As we weave each of these pillars of spiritual living into our service today, may they deepen our own spiritual practices of study, prayer, meditation, circulation, and service, expanding our minds and our hearts to the 5 divine qualities of truth, power, peace, life, and love. We also bless everyone who made our service possible today and everyone in attendance. May the energy of love that is generated here bless everyone abundantly, and so it is. And so it is. So now it's time for our meditation and in living color. Our affirmation for today is, I fully embrace the spectrum of my human experience. And something came to me today. I'm going to do something a little bit different for our meditation. I'm going to read a portion, a short chapter in this book that I just finished this week. It's called The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. And on the inside cover, it describes it as a dazzling novel about all the choices that go into a life well lived. So as Charlene cues our music, this will be just a little bit different for our meditation today, but I want to begin with a deep breath just to get you into the right mindset. So take a deep breath, inhale, hold, and exhale. And while I read this chapter, just sit back, relax, enjoy the music, and listen to the words that this author presents near the end of this book as this woman is kind of reflecting on her life and her life's journey. The title of this chapter is The Thing I Have Learned, written by a nobody who has been everybody. It's easy to mourn the lives we aren't living, Easy to wish we developed other talents, said yes to different offers. Easy to wish we worked harder, loved better, handled our finances more astutely, been more popular, stayed in the band, gone to Australia, said yes to the coffee, or done more bloody yoga. It takes no effort to miss the friends we didn't make, and the work we didn't do, and the people we didn't marry, and the children we didn't have. It is not difficult to see yourself through the lens of other people and to wish you were all the different kaleidoscopic versions of you they wanted you to be. It's easy to regret and keep regretting until our time runs out. But it is not the lives we regret, not living, that are the real problem. It is the regret itself. It's the regret that makes us shrivel and wither and feel like our own and other people's worst enemy. We can't tell if any of those other versions would have been better or worse. We can't visit every place or meet every person or do every job, yet most of what we'd feel in any life is still available. We don't have to play every game to know what winning feels like. We don't have to hear every piece of music in the world to understand music. We don't have to have tried every variety of grape from every vineyard to know the pleasure of wine. We just have to close our eyes and savor the taste of the drink in front of us and listen to the song as it plays. We are completely and utterly alive. We need to be only one person. We need to feel only one existence. We don't have to do everything in order to be everything, because we are already infinite. While we are alive, we always contain a future of unlimited potential. So let's be kind to the people in our own existence. Let's occasionally look up from the spot in which we are, because wherever we happen to be standing, the sky above goes on and on forever. And just like the sky, our life is full of hope, potential. Will your life be miraculously free from pain, despair, grief, heartbreak, hardship, loneliness, depression? No. But do you want to live? The answer is yes. Yes. 1,000 times yes. I thought that was some powerful words to go along with our theme for today, and I hope you enjoyed that. Oh, you don't have to listen to every song to know what music is. And speaking of that, we have music by Leah.
Thank you so much for that, Tamara. So I've shared this song a few times. If it's familiar, I invite you to sing with me. Just as you are without changing a thing, just as you are, I accept you. I see you, I hear you, I welcome you in, just as you are, just as you are. Just as you are without changing a thing, just as you are, I accept you. I see you, I hear you, I welcome you in, just as you are, just as you are. just as you are without changing a thing. Just as you are, I accept you. I see you, I hear you, I welcome you in just as you are. Just as you are, just as you are, just as you are.
Wow, that was very good. He had me sitting here and just as I am. And Tamara, what a great reading. What a great reading. I feel now you need your own YouTube channel. You need to read me all the things. I'm gonna need your reading. I'm gonna need Dan and guitar, and then a song from Leah just to get through the day. So you're welcome. I will be bringing that to you soon. But welcome this morning to June. And June is Pride Month, which is why we have In Living Color as the title. And it's why Tamara was reading that whole beautiful story about, or insight about, why are we regretting who we could have been, where we could have gone, what we should have done, and what we could have, would have, should have done, or been, or had, or loved, when we have our beautiful lives right here. And then I love that Leah brought it through. What can I do just as I am? And if you think about it, who you are is pretty amazing. And that was on purpose. We were built, we live here, we are alive on purpose. So there is a reason we're here. And why do we even have to bring all that up? Because the common, I want to call it the agreed on mediocrity that is society. It's a mutual agreement that we're all going to be kind of okay, but not great. And everybody sort of agrees on it on some unconscious level. And how dare you rise your head above the mediocrity and be fabulous, excuse you, which is exactly what has been happening to the LGBTQIA community over and over and over again. It's not just that this community loves differently. That's not the only thing, but it did start the whole otherness. But then when some that would love everybody to be some sort of beige, like that's all I can think about, some level of beige. And these people have the nerve to get up with their full color. And they even made a whole show about it. Remember that in the 90s? It was awesome. How dare they have a set of likes and dislikes and opinions and full, glorious, fabulous expressions? How dare they? How dare they? That's that's exactly why we support every single thing. We support any community where anyone is made to feel less than, marginalized, set apart, othered, because whether it's the way you love or it's the way you show up with your kinky hair or whatever, not the hair that is currently the approved hair, right? Because that's just one piece. Then we're going to break it down with your skin color. How do you sound? How do you look? How high, how tall, how fat, how thin? We have so many facets of judging others that, I mean, I get it. I love the fact that there was a whole movement. And I'm looking at all my notes because the people who come up with these talk titles and the whole themes, like chef's kiss to this one, because I know we start out talking about being able to live out loud, live happy, and it does support what Ernest Holmes always said. Like, it should be considered right to live and to enjoy living, to be well, happy, and express freedom, because that is to be in accord with the divine law and wisdom, to be expressing these parts of ourselves, no matter how it looks. That's the peace. That's the peace that is important to hold on to. It's equality for all, justice for all. It's not equality for all, but some more equal than others. Justice for all, but some more justice. We'll look at the other way. Like, no, there's no but. Like Tamara always says, when you say the Pledge of Allegiance, there's no little asterisk at the bottom of freedom and justice for all, except the blah, blah, blah. There's no except. It's everybody. So the fact that there is a set aside month for, get this, here's the long acronym. It's 2SLGBTQIA. 2S means two spirit. I love this because that's what they called it. In the indigenous culture, when you're born with both genitalia, we call it hermaphrodite, but the ancients called it two spirit. So two spirit is the 2S. And then LGBTQ, we know lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and then Q could stand for queer, or it could stand for questioning. Hello, questioning, girl. Anyway, and then IA, intersex and asexual. Look how they included everybody in the 2S LGBTQIA. Literally, this is awesome. Now, so this is the month that we celebrate this community, and these this group of people have served as an example of the beauty of what it looks like when we can express ourselves just the way we are. And yes, there was a lot of pushback, but still, this community has persisted in creating all kinds of sacred spaces, sometimes secret spaces, because we all know what better way to get a target on your back than to express yourself in fully in living color, all bold and stuff, unapologetically. What are you doing walking with your back straight and your head up? Don't you know you are shameful? Girl, please. And the category is, would say Billy, that guy Billy from the show. Anyway, drag. Drag is fun. It's exciting to watch. Do you know that this community, not only do they celebrate themselves in color and in music and in dance, and yes, the most fabulous fashion shows. And let me just tell you something. I don't get to show you a lot of footage. Maybe after in the Pearls, we'll pull up some footage and enjoy that while we're not streaming. Because, yeah, the social media watchers tend to watch for copywritten or copyrighted material. But you know what I'm talking about when someone's walking down the runway and they've got on all their outfit and then they drop down in a fabulous way. Girl, the way my knees would not allow me to get back up, that would be very difficult. I'm just like, wow, the acrobatics of it all. Listen, it's wonderful to celebrate and enjoy. And if I can't be in it, then I'm definitely waving a flag on the sidelines like, you go, girl. So, where did all that come from anyway? Now, as I mentioned, the group of people that research all these topics for these talks, they went way back. How far back did they go? Way back. They found, for me, the way that the drag, where did that word come from, that kind of thing. So here we are. I can read to you. Most of us, it says here, I'm just going to read it to you because I cannot. This is great. So most of us reside in cultures where the 2S LGBTQIA people's voices have been erased from history and they continue to be silenced. Living in color is often supported by learning more about the people who paved the way. So here is the story. Many of us may not know that the original drag queen was a formerly enslaved man named William Dorsey Swan, Swan with two N's. The term queen was inspired by the Queens of Freedom crowned on Emancipation Day celebrations. So, Queens of Freedom were crowned on Emancipation Day, which is the day that they celebrate the freedoms. Now, the first time they held Emancipation Day was in 1866. So the word drag came from grand rag. Grand rag. I guess grag just sounds weird. So drag is what they called it. Now, Swan did not allow a history of enslavement and police raids on the Grand Rags in Washington, D.C. to hamper his celebrations. The Evening Star reported that the police targeted men in female attire of many colors. Sounds familiar. Sounds Old Testament like, right? The coat of many colors. And they and Swan and his friends continued to party even though the police would target this community. The police kept shutting them down, and Swan and his people continued to party. So the Pride celebrations from all around the world are now an amplification of the refusal to be told to stop being happy, stop celebrating stuff. Y'all need to sit down and hush. And for goodness sakes, you need to tone it down. Put on some beige. I'm sorry, I can't even finish the sentence. I mean, I'm in my closet trying to find beige. I'm like, dude, there's now, admittedly, there's a lot of black because slimming, but also the color. Am I right? So the living color is not only literal, right? The ability to show up in whatever color of skin God put you in, and also whatever appeals to your sense of style, and you will find your community if you just express yourself. In fact, I would venture to say that many of us are lonely because we don't show up as we are. We don't show up authentically. We start to take ourselves, and I'm not going to blame any particular stage in the enculturation of the human being, but it happens, right? And eventually you might try to be fitting in so much that you shave off some of the fun parts about yourself. And so then it could be that we show up in a group and we don't really know who we are because we're afraid to be who we want to be, but we're also just trying to fit in. And there's no more dry personality than the one that just hopes that you like them. Nothing more dry, nothing more uninteresting than the person who's just trying to fit in. And everybody hurts. I feel like not only is this damaging to the person who is just ignoring all of who they are, who they're meant to be when they show up in the world, they're not only robbing themselves of their own soul's expression, they're also robbing everybody else of a really deep and connected experience with them. Well, they've done so much shellacking and shaving and smoothing of the rough edges, now there's nothing to hold on to. I mean, I'm thinking about Velcro. Again, my brain, it'll jump around, but I'm thinking about Velcro, which what makes Velcro useful is that there's little hooks and then there's a smooth thing. And when you put it together, you've got a connection and you can tear it apart with some force, but it holds on. What makes it happen? The little hooks. What if both sides wanted to be exactly the same? You would never get any contact and it wouldn't stick. And this is what it feels like for a person to show up having shaved off all the edges that would have caused some sort of some kind of tacky surface that we could stick to. Now you're just kind of meh, and we don't even notice when you're here and when you left. And I was reading an article about someone who was like, yeah, so I kind of took the challenge that I read about online. It was like, do your friends like you or are you just meh? Here's an experiment. Don't call anybody. Don't reach out for 30 days. Does your phone ring? Do you get a ping? Or is it silent? And the person's like, dude, it's silent. So then they went to therapy. There's just a little article I'm reading just because I'm walking the dog. And in therapy, the therapist said, all right, okay, so poor you don't have any friends, you're so alone. Question, tell me about one of your roommates in college. Pick one. Okay, Don. All right, tell me about Don. And then, oh, well, he was in AP chemistry when I was in high school, but then I saw surface level stuff. And the psychologist, the therapist kind of said, you don't know anything else? Why don't you know? How many brothers? How many sisters? What job did they have? What were their dreams? What were their, you don't know. Interesting. And then the therapist didn't say anything else. And so the person writing the little article was like, and then it hit me. Shout out to the therapist. He thinks it hit him like, I thought of this idea that maybe I've also not been a friend. Maybe I've not been friendly. Maybe I'm not showing who I really am. So nobody has any reason to connect with me. They don't have any, there's no, you could be there, you could be not there. You're not making a difference. Now, that's not the dream we have about the way we want to live our lives. Who says I want to go through the world and cause as little static as possible, disrupt nothing, and silently die alone? Nobody wants that. Yet, every time we look at a social media article or our social media post where we're comparing the way they look outside to the messiness that's inside, and we determine that we're lacking, not that they're lying or they've done a few filters, no. Not that they only take pictures of the perfect side of themselves so they can curate your experience of them. No, no, no. That's not even in the room in terms of possibility. It always is, I come up short when I compare myself. So therefore, I'm not good enough. So therefore, I have to try to be good enough. And it seems like everybody's into this, so I'll do this. Wow, what a way to just not be you. This is the idea that we first get when we come in the traditional path of being raised. But we know that we come into a spiritual community so that we can rise above that traditional mediocrity. And we watch how it's kind of modeled for us. Now, like Tamara said in her reading, now I'm not going to promise you sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns that are what? Barfing sunshine and rainbows? I feel like there's something about a sparkly barf in that conversation. Listen, in that story she read, it's like, I'm not going to promise you that things are going to be peachy keen all the time. That would be strange. It would be a lie. But what I will promise you is that you're going to be so present with your life. And you're going to be so engaged with yourself. And as you relate to the world, you can't help but be very interested in other people. You won't be able to help being fascinated by the things that other people might just walk by. You'll be so interested in the possibilities, which turns out are really huge. There's so many possibilities. When we look around, we see like 3% of what's really there. First of all, your brain is doing a lot of work filtering out things that it thinks you're not interested in. So first of all, if we're not seeing what we want, I promise you it's there. We just have to train our brain to expect to see it. And then it will appear as if it came from nowhere. But dude, it's been there the whole time. Come on, anytime somebody buys a new car, which you've never seen that kind of car before, guaranteed you're going to see that car everywhere. They've always been there. It's not that you have never seen it because it's not there. It's you haven't seen it because you didn't look for it. So number one, the life you're living right now is a result of what you've been trained to look for. 3% of what you see, you're seeing, it's been filtered. So there's 97% of everything else that your brain is like, yeah, so we don't have processing for that. And besides, we don't want to shock you. So wipe. If you expect it, okay, fine, here it is, but none of that other stuff. And I admit this is good. Please filter. Please filter for me, universe. Because, oh my God, there's so much possibility that you could end up chasing rabbits all around and spending a lot of energy with nothing done. I get it. But if that 3% can be curated by us to where we could decide what we want to experience, then, well, let's go. Let's go. So now that we have the ability to get things in front of us and to like lean into what we do want, we're living on the plane of the Wayans brothers when they created In Living Color. So what they did was they were like, you know what? We're looking at TV right now and it's kind of dry. These people are boring. Let's take our crazy family antics and let's just put it on TV. And so, with the support of a lot of backing producers and stuff, and a couple additional characters like Jim Carrey, come on, Jim Carrey's character with Fire Marshal Bill cracks me up. Probably my favorite sketch that they did was Two Men on Film, or yeah, I think it was, where they would do the snaps. And they would, so you had Siskel and Ebert back in the time, and they would be thumbs up or thumbs down. I mean, it was fine. But when In Living Color came on, that was fantastic. It was so funny because the way they said, yeah, we like it, was just so dramatic. Two snaps in a Z formation. Hilarious. Come on, you had to be there, but it was so much fun. Now, it was super edgy for its time, and absolutely, there are some jokes that would be considered a little like inappropriate in today's time. So a lot of it doesn't age well, but still at the time it was freaking hilarious. These were traditionally oppressed people. David Allen Greer representing certain aspects of society where these aspects traditionally repressed, traditionally just dumped upon, set aside, and ignored. But did these people say, oh, well, so we're not allowed to have fun. Let's go on home. No, they were like, so thank you, police officer. Yeah, see you later. All right. So where were we? Oh yeah, the category is. They kept going. In fact, there are some people, I might be included in this group, where, oh, you tell me I can't do it? Oh, now that's all I'm gonna think about doing. Because what you're not gonna do is tell me what my limitations are. You're not going to tell me that I can't. In fact, I really wish that telling me that I can't did not inspire me so much because then I could be manipulated, right? I could see it now. I remember this happening at work. I remember a project manager coming up to me and saying, oh, this is probably not possible. I'm pretty sure this doesn't. But so we're thinking of adding the functionality where you could just like copy a spreadsheet in and then the system would just figure out where to put the data and then it would just go in the database without us having to do it. But it's probably too hard. Now you know that that's my catnip. I'm like, oh, too hard? Now I will stop at nothing. It will be done by the weekend because it's just now. So this thing can be used against me. I must watch how I let my hooks be used by a faction that is not wanting what's best for me or somehow wanting to take my energy and turn it toward their purposes. I got to be careful. So this part is part of the spiritual growth. And I'm not just saying, okay, throw all caution to the wind, do what you love, and if they tell you you can't do it, then double down. Because anytime you pick a position and you're dug in on that position, you are now a useful idiot. I'm so sorry I said it. Anytime you are absolutely sure about your position, just think right now, social media, think right now, the polarization of politics. Get dug in to some position and sit there. And anytime anyone shows you anything that kind of proves it's not true, now this will happen on either side of the polarized environment we're in right now. Anytime you show them evidence that that flies in the face of their assumptions, they don't believe you. Now you're part of the deep state or whatever they call the other side that's trying, and then they dig in. So now your ability to be so driven by some high idea, watch yourself and don't be so brittly connected to that position. So now you can get hooked by anything. But they now know how to take your energy, your power, and use it in their service, much like the project manager might have done. Now, in my situation, sure, they came up and said, oh, this probably won't work, will it? Now, chances are I got paid for whatever I was hooked into, right? I did bill them. So it's not like, and I ended up working for free and then they never paid me. I don't know. But still, that's still energy of mine that I could have used to my highest vision for myself. So I cannot get so wrapped up in proving to somebody that I can do it, because I might end up doing something I never really wanted to do. It's just I wanted to prove I could, using that energy for what I want to do. And if I don't know what I want to do, then I'm probably not going to be served by asking a lot of people, what do you think I should do? How about you? What do you see for me? Because now I'm going to be leveraged for their highest good. Again, that's not terrible, but what I want for us is a higher vision for each of us. We should be the best advocate for our higher selves. We're here to do something. We got conceived, and it was a miracle. I know people, sure, it's just procreation. Did you know that the likelihood of you getting born into a body is similar to the likelihood? Here's how it's been explained to me, because I don't do a lot of math. I mean, I'm not stupid, but I don't love math. Listen, what if you had a life raft in the middle of the Pacific Ocean? Wait, which one's bigger? Yeah, Pacific Ocean. Middle of the Pacific Ocean. A little life raft. You know, the red and white ones that you see hanging on the side of boats? One of those. Put it in the middle of the ocean and take a sea turtle, one sea turtle, identify that sea turtle, and then what are the likelihoods of this little turtle going into the beach, California beach, and swimming and not coming up for air until it's boop, right in the middle of that life raft? What's the chances? I can't calculate it. There's actually a number. But the fact that you're here is equivalent to that turtle making its way up through the center of that life raft. I'm trying to say that you're not here because it's not a thing for you to just take for granted. You're here on purpose. You beat out billions and trillions of other possibilities, and now you're you and you're here. Give it a second to connect to the height. Why? Why did I come here? I'm here for a reason. You already know, but sometimes we can't hear our reason because we're too busy trying to prove to other people that we're okay, that we're worthy, that we have a right to take up space. Dude, you're here. You can take up space. All right. So now figure out, what is your highest? What is your best? What is your thing that you're here to do? And do that. Do it. And when you do it, you'll feel passionate about it, because the thing you're here to do will feed your passion. That's how you know you're passionate about it. And then the universe likes to give energy for energy. So when you give your passion and you serve, guess what comes back? Energy in the form of money and other types of reinforcements. It's just reciprocity happening. And if you get into the flow, it's actually easy. I don't know, it's kind of wild. It's kind of wild. But I'm living it, and I want you to live it too. And I'm sure many of us have stories of where, even if we're not living it right now, you know what I'm talking about. Tamara was saying, I don't play all instruments, but I know what it is to play music. It's like I don't do every kind of art, but I know what it's like to be an artist. You know what it's like to live in that vibe, to live in that flow. And so why don't we all just take our attention back and let's get into our idea of who we really are, and we'll do that. Let's do that. This is what I see for ourselves. It's already my time, but I could talk to you about this forever. Let's not. So let me check the chat to see if there are any requests for prayer. Let's go within as we close out this transformational time together. So I know that there is only one divine energy moving through each and every one of us, that we cannot be separate from that infinite space where all possibilities reside. It is the divine. It is Mother, Father, God. It is whatever we call it. It could just be, in your mind, life itself moving through. That life force is us. We can't be separate from it, even if we get distracted. we are still one with that life force. So I speak my word that this oneness will only deepen. The awareness of our oneness will only deepen as we keep moving forward as the spiritual community. We do the work. We unfold and we evolve into the highest yet to be for our own selves. And as we then show up in the world, we enable that. We move that energy through whatever it is we participate in. And we let go of any idea of fighting the other side. Fight. No. We allow people to be who they are, and then we do our thing. And we show up the way we're meant to show up. Because the energy of fight, it's an energy of love. It's an energy of light. It's an energy of presence that when we bring this energy, it heals, so many things that are unhealed. And it vibes a little higher and it's more attractive. It's more powerful. It's more, And with that, it spreads. That ripple effect spreads out all around the world. Yes, it is true. We are making the world a better place. And so I give thanks for this awareness to know that right where we are, there's the presence of the divine. And even where there is currently any experience of illness, lack, or some sort of dis-ease, unrest, where it appears to be other than the divine, I speak my word that right there is the divine. And the more we can know that it's true, the more it is revealed. So even now, that is unfolding in every area of unrest. And so I simply rest now, knowing that everything is unfolding perfectly, because when I speak these words into the law says yes. So I release my word, I let it go, I simply let it be. And so it is. Amen, Ashe. Amen.
We let the light wash over us. We let it be. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I've heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream, they really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh why can't I too? You like I mix that up? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh why can't
Oh my goodness gracious. Leah, thank you so much for your music, for that song. One of my personal favorites. And Charlene, thank you so much for the fabulous message today. What a fun journey you took us on. All right, folks, now is the time to bless the donations that are given to us here at CSL Leesburg. And as you know, we believe in the law of circulation. So as you give, so shall you receive. And we practice what we preach. As we receive, we keep the cash flow flowing. It goes out to our home organization, as well as other organizations that share our vision of helping to create a world that works for everyone. And yes, Charlene, there's no little asterisk behind the word everyone. Liberty and justice for all. There are so many ways that you can give. Odds are you found a way. If not, take a look at your screen and remember that it all keeps flowing. So let's do our blessing of our gifts. Join me with these words. The presence of spirit within me blesses everyone I meet, tends to heal everything I touch, brings gladness into the life of everyone I contact. Therefore, I am a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to the day in which I live. And so it is. So what's happening? What kind of announcements do we have? Well, mark your calendars for next Sunday. Our wonderful, wonderful frequent guest speaker, Reverend Melinda Jacobs. Odds are you know her if you're a regular here at CSL Leesburg. Well, she's going to have a special workshop called a visioning workshop, and it will be after our service at 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The cost is $44, and 30% of the proceeds will be coming right back to CSL Leesburg. Please register. Space is limited. You can use the QR code or visit our website, www.cslleesburg.org, and click the little workshops. So what are we exploring here? You can read the slides along with me. It's a two-part workshop. It's designed to guide you inward toward clarity, release, revelation, and in this sacred space, you will identify what no longer serves you. Discover what your heart truly desires. Listen for Spirit's highest vision for your life, and awaken the innate gifts that are uniquely yours. So, wow, what a bargain, right? To have all those things. And if you know Reverend Jacobs, Melinda, she's just absolutely fabulous. So this will be a wonderful workshop. All righty. What else do we have going on? We have a fundraiser, a special fundraiser. If you know our fabulous Renee Striner is our gifted community member. She does psychic readings, you could say. She offers Akashic, I can never say this word, Charlene.
Akashic?
Akashic, thank you. Akashic readings. So if you know anything about our Akashic records, it kind of is a record. It lays out your life. And she does these readings, and they're absolutely fabulous. I've done this twice, and it's wonderful. The cost is $100 for a 1-hour session. And again, 30% of the proceeds are going to CSL Leesburg. You can see if you're looking at our screen, but I'm going to read off her email address. If you would like to contact her, do so soon. It's at rtmreading@gmail.com. And I promise you, you're going to learn things that will surprise you in a way. And then when you think about it, no, this is true. But she brings it to light, and oh my gosh, it's absolutely fabulous. Like I said, done it twice. Highly, highly encourage you to book a session with Renee. Also, we have the gift of song, all these wonderful fundraisers going on. So our fabulous Dan Johnson with Soul Pajamas is presenting a very special gift. Could you imagine how it would feel to have somebody say, hey, for your birthday, to celebrate this graduation, this special occasion, I had somebody write a song for you. So he will handcraft a tune for someone that you love. It will be heartfelt, hilarious, joyful, whatever you say. Imagine having a song written for yourself. You can do it for yourself or for a loved one. And Dan is willing to create something that is unforgettable. It will be your special song for only $150. And again, 30% goes back to support CSL. Book your session with Dan. And again, for those of you who can't see the slide that's on our screen, I'm going to read out his email address so you can contact him. It is Daniel David Johnson, all those common spellings, Daniel David Johnson at gmail.com. Contact him and you get a song. You get a song written for you. How wonderful. All righty. Next, we have Dream Study, as always, on alternating Saturdays at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Join Charlene and her friends. We know that we're always getting messages. Sometimes it's easy to understand the messages that we're receiving in our dreams. And sometimes you're like, wait, where did that come from? So you can explore your dreams, listen to others. They will help you interpret your dreams. And their next session will be on Thursday. Oh my gosh, where did Thursday come from? Saturday, June 14th. And it is at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. All right. All these things happening. We are definitely embracing our theme for the month of June, living in living color. All this kaleidoscope of colors, all these fabulous things happening. Because why? Because there's unlimited potential and you're fabulous. So that's why we do what we do. So before we leave and say our closing affirmation, I want to remind you that we do something after we officially end our service. It's called Pearls. This is kind of like our virtual coffee hour where we kind of stay, hang out, talk. What do you want to hear more about? What would you like to question? What would you like to share? And we just kind of chat for a little bit. Sometimes you learn about good books, good movies, good TV shows. Sometimes you learn about just what's happening in a different part of the world than where you are, because our members are from all over, different states, different countries. So we invite you to stay. If you can, hang out with us. And if you can't, know that we're going to send you off with our blessings after we do our closing affirmation. So please join me. Unmute if you can, because you know I love to hear you. Here we go. You ready? Repeat after me. I am love.
I
am love.
Nice. Love it. Love it. All right. Now think of someone who needs this message right now. It could be somebody who's in the room with you. It could be a family member, a friend, or a furry companion. And you know that this is the honest truth. You can send this message and somebody's going to feel it even though they're far away. You ready? You are loved.
You are loved.
Woo-hoo. I felt it. It was like a wave, a tsunami. All right, you ready? Let's do a big reminder that it is all love. Here we go. It's all
all
love.
It's all love. All right. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you can, please stay. We'd love to stay and hang out and chat with you a little bit. But if you have to go, we understand. It's a busy day. We send you off with our love and blessings. And we know that we'll see you next Sunday right here. And that's it. It's a wrap.